Welcome to another video of Food Nourish Deep Dives, the videocast of foodnourish.net, where we explore topics like health, food, supplements, and alternative approaches to health and wellness. Today we're tackling a big one, artificial sweeteners. It's a topic that is just swimming in confusion and conflicting advice, but we're going to clear it all up.
So what's the deal? Are these things a dieter's secret weapon, or are they some kind of hidden health trap just waiting to spring? It's a question that has sparked so much debate. But you know what? A major new study is finally giving us some real clarity, and the answers are probably not what you're expecting. Let's dive in.
Okay, first things first. To really get why this new study is such a big deal, you have to understand why this whole topic has been a giant puzzle for years. It really comes down to this clash between what seems like common sense and what some studies were actually finding.
And this slide? This is the heart of the confusion right here. On one side, you've got simple logic, right? You swap a sugary drink for a zero-calorie one, you take in fewer calories, you should lose weight. Makes total sense. But then, on the other side, you had these big observational studies that kept finding the complete opposite, that people who used more sweeteners often had a higher body weight. How does that work? It seems like a total contradiction.
So what on earth could be going on? Well, scientists were scratching their heads, and they came up with a few main theories. Maybe it was something called reverse causality. People who are already struggling with their weight are just more likely to use sweeteners in the first place. Or maybe it's psychological. You have a diet soda, and then you think, hey, I saved some calories, so I can have that brownie. And then, of course, there were the more biological ideas, that maybe sweeteners were messing with our insulin or disrupting the good bacteria in our gut.
The confusion got so intense that some researchers, as you can see from this quote, actually started to wonder out loud if swapping sugar for sweeteners was a good recommendation at all. This just goes to show how badly we needed a better type of study to finally get a straight answer.
And that brings us to our high-quality clue, the new SWEET study. Now, this is not just another observational report. This is a randomized controlled trial, an RCT. That is the gold standard in this kind of research. And it was designed specifically to solve this puzzle.
So here's how they did it, and it was really clever. They used a two-phase design. First, they put everyone on a 2-month diet to get some initial weight loss. Then, for the next 10 months, they split them into two groups. One group got a little bit of sugar each day, and the other group got artificially sweetened products instead. The big question was, who would be better at keeping the weight off a year later?
And the results? They were pretty striking. After 1 full year, the group that used artificial sweeteners had kept off an extra 1.6 kilograms, that's about 3.5 pounds, compared to the sugar group. So in a direct, head-to-head competition, the sweeteners were clearly more effective for weight maintenance.
But wait, it gets even more interesting. When the researchers zoomed in on the people who stuck to the diet the most strictly, the effect was way more dramatic. That group kept off an extra 3.8 kilograms. That tells us that if you're really consistent, the benefit could be even bigger. Now, this study didn't stop at weight. It also dug into some really fascinating effects on our gut health, and we'll get to that in just a second. But first, a quick word. If you're on your own health journey, a fantastic resource is foodnourish.net/deals. That's where you'll find all the latest deals on wellness and supplement products from our partner brands like Perpetual Life, iHerb, Source Naturals, Nootropics Depot, and BioOptimizers. The link is right down there in the description for you.
Okay, so we've established that sweeteners seem to help with weight, but the SWEET study went deeper, and it looked into one of those theories we talked about before. How do they affect our gut microbiome? And this is where the story gets really, really interesting.
The study found that sweeteners definitely did change the gut bacteria, and it was kind of a mixed bag. On the good side, there was a boost in beneficial bacteria that makes something called short-chain fatty acids. But on the other side, there was also an increase in bacteria that produce methane gas, which can lead to some uncomfortable situations.
So why are these short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs, such a big deal? Well, they are absolute rock stars for our health. They can help our bodies burn more energy. They make us feel fuller after we eat. They reduce inflammation. They might even help protect against obesity and type 2 diabetes. So getting more of the bacteria that make these, that is a huge win.
And the other part of that microbiome story? Well, this explains something a lot of people anecdotally report. Some of the people in the sweetener group mentioned having more bloating and discomfort. And yep, that increase in methane-producing bacteria is almost certainly why. So for some folks, it seems sweeteners can be a little gassy.
So we know they can help with weight, and we know they have this mixed effect on the gut. But what about all those scary health warnings we've heard about from older studies? This is where the SWEET study provides some serious reassurance.
by telling us what it didn't find.
This is a massive takeaway. Despite all the fears and worries, this really well-done, year-long study found zero negative impact on major health markers. We're talking blood sugar, insulin, LDL cholesterol, blood pressure. None of them were made worse. Those scary metabolic effects that people were concerned about, they just didn't show up.
Now, of course, no study is perfect, and we always want a balanced view, so we gotta look at the limitations. The great news is that this was funded by a European Union grant, not by the sweetener industry. That's a huge plus. On the other hand, a few of the researchers did have some industry ties. The study also had the tough luck of running during the COVID-19 pandemic, which created a lot of challenges and led to a pretty high dropout rate of 40%.
Okay, a single study, no matter how good, is never the final word in science. So for our last step, let's put these findings into the bigger picture and see how they line up with other top-quality research. And this is where things get truly mind-blowing. There was another year-long RCT that compared artificially sweetened drinks directly to plain water for weight maintenance. You'd think water would win, no question. But unbelievably, the sweetener group maintains significantly more weight loss. We're talking more than double.
How is that even possible? Well, the researchers figure it's all about psychology. When the water group gave up all sweetness in their drinks, they might have subconsciously gone looking for that sweet taste in other foods, which ended up making them eat more calories overall. The human mind is a funny thing, isn't it?
So, when you put all the best evidence together, what's the bottom line? The picture actually becomes incredibly clear. Sugary drinks are packed with calories and have clear metabolic risks. Artificially sweetened drinks, on the other hand, seem to be a genuinely helpful tool for maintaining weight loss, and they don't carry those same metabolic risks that we see in these rigorous trials. It looks like they are a very viable alternative for anyone trying to cut back on sugar.
So ultimately, this whole journey has been about moving from a state of confusion to one of clarity. The best evidence we have right now points to the idea that for people who are trying to ditch a sugary drink habit, switching to a zero-sugar option can be a really helpful, positive step. Which leaves the final question for you to think about. With this evidence in hand, what role, if any, will sweeteners play in your diet? I really hope this has cleared up a pretty tricky topic for you. If you want to dig even deeper, we've put links to the resource articles in the episode's description below. If you found this useful, please do us a favor and like the video. It really helps us grow our channel and continue delivering these deep dives. And of course, subscribe so you never miss another episode. Thanks for joining us.